going on, everybody? I'm the best. The best was the best. Certainly there have been none before me, and then there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Guy. And welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed podcast this week with the news of the week, followed by SmackDown review, then a review of maybe one of the best shows of the year, Extreme Rules. We have a Raw review, followed by a review 2018 Crown Jewel. We have your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules, your battle draw of the week. So let's get into it. With the news is a former women's wrestler returning to WWE. Apparently that is the news, as Sarah Logan is returning to WWE very soon. She will be paired with Eric and Ivar, as she is the real-life wife of Eric. She was released in 2019, 2020 due to the pandemic. So it's very cool to see her back. I'm very, very excited. She was back in the Royal Rumble. Rumble only lasted 4 weeks, but awesome to see her back. Cool to have her in. Welcome back, Sarah Logan. And as a former women's champion sooner than expected, apparently, because Becky Lynch has been spotted backstage. She's been spotted in the women's locker room. Showing very few signs of injury. And apparently it looks like she will return in about a month at most. Congratulations to the man. Welcome back. It's exciting to see back in WWE. Now, this could just be a speculation due to the fact that Rollins and their baby travel together wherever they go. So it's cool to see, but it might just be soon at this time. And finally, is Daniel Cormier going to WWE? Apparently that's the talk, as he is retired from UFC, and he is not willing to shut the door on a WWE run. He says, I've been retired for a couple of years, but if I were to get back in shape, if I ever want to do something like that, the door is not closed for anything right now in his life. So I would be excited to see that. I think it would be awesome to see for him to come out and be a WWE, not full-timer, but part-timer, maybe have Brock Lesnar. It would be cool to see. It would be. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get to the sad story later on. Let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with Triple H, and Triple H came out with his first appearance since WrestleMania 38. He welcomed people to the season premiere. And actually, as he was holding his mic, there was a QR code on his mic. I thought that was just awesome, man. They were really building this white rabbit. I'll get more into that in Extreme Rules. But when it was revealed after being scanned, it revealed that tomorrow at Extreme Rules, everything would be revealed. We then get Paul Heyman coming out saying Logan Paul is this generation's Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper when it came to celebrity figure out who to go against Roman Reigns. Said he would like to go on the mic against Shapiro or Jordan Peterson. And then we got Logan Paul actually saying, when you say Tribal Chief is going to smash me, do you mean Roman Reigns or Jey Uso? Jay got pissed off, was starting to yell. Sammy tried to intervene, calm him down. Then get a backstage segment in which Roman says he's been a hothead his entire life, and now it's costing him stuff. So Jay is now his responsibility. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what's going on here. I like the honorary Uso, so I hope this isn't the start of the things sent out of the bloodline, but I don't know. After this, we got Solo Sikoa versus Ricochet. Solo Sikoa just Ricochet. There was no question of it. I want Ricochet to do more. I want him to be a challenger for the Universal title. I don't know. It's clear he's lost favor with everybody in WWE, man. I don't know. After this, we get Hit Row in the ring trying to cut a promo, getting ready for a match. But then three masked men attack them. And as they're attacking Hit Row, a woman jumps on B-Fab and hits her with a spinning Hurricane Rana, and it is Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, three masked men, they take off their masks, and it is Legado del Fantasma. I guess Elektra Lopez is no longer with the group, and Zelina Vega is now their new leader. So that's cool to see. I love to see that Zelina Vega is back in WWE at full pairing with them. I really do. I think this could really work well, and a really cool way to debut Legado del Fantasma. Very good for them. You then get Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi versus Sonya Deville and Xia Li. Unfortunately, this was a squash match, which sucks because I think Xia Li and Sonya Deville are so much better than that. But Rodriguez and Shotzi put on a great match, and they're actually working very well. We then get Karrion Kross coming to the ring, and he was attacked by McIntyre. But he was able to get the upper hand with the strap, stood tall over Drew, and I'll get more of this in my Extreme Rules review. It's a hard one to look into. Look more into that Extreme Rules. We then get Braun Strowman in the New Day versus the Bloodline of the Usos and Sami Zayn. Fun match. There was no question that the New Day were picking up the win here to show Jey Uso's displeasure with Sami Zayn. It could have gone better, but at the same time, I understand the lose here. Braun Strowman definitely being built up as the monster of all monsters, and I'm happy to see him back in WWE. After this, we get the male models trying to beat down Max Dupree. Max Dupree beat him back, and he said he was going to give him gold, but now he belongs. He is now no longer Max Dupree. He is L.A. Knight. Great to see that, man. I love L.A. Knight. The gimmick. Welcome back, L.A. Knight. Awesome to see you back in WWE. We then get Gunther versus Shane. Great IC title match, but unfortunately, it was a little tainted as Gunther did tap out, but the referee said he was making the way towards the rope, and so it's not a tap out. Gunther retains, at the same time, it shouldn't have been a retain. Sheamus should have been the IC title. But great match all around. Great SmackDown. Actually got me excited for Extreme, the way they were really playing the strap match, the Donnybrook Rules match. Although I feel they could have done more for the SmackDown Women's Championship match, but it's just me. I don't know. There was a match they could have done, but it was a very good go-home show. Now let's go Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules kicked off with the Donnybrook match, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. Awesome match. Great match. Awesome way to kick off. And they really gave, and I guess this is the shorter pay-per-views, every match was given 30 minutes. They really let them have everything they needed to succeed. And the Brawling Brutes were able to pick up the win. Imperium. And it's clear now, and it's even listed, PW report, that the Brawling Brutes are official faces. They are no longer heels, and Imperium will be heels going forward. We then get an Extreme Rules match for the Women's Championship. Now these two matches coming up were probably the shit matches, I would say, really viewed down for me. Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. Ronda Rousey just, I don't know, she's not... I said it when she came in, and I still feel it. She has not transitioned into wrestling. She has her matches in and there where you're like, okay, maybe she's starting to get it. But then a match like this, and you're looking at her just going, what the fuck are you thinking? This was a terrible match. I don't blame Liv Morgan at all. I completely put all the blame on Ronda Rousey here. Ronda Rousey sucked in this match. Ronda Rousey picks up the win, and That's all I'm going to say about this match. She's now listed as a heel going forward. I don't know what the plan is for Liv Morgan, but Ronda Rousey is a heel going forward and is the SmackDown Women's Champion again. Yay. And then we go to the strap match. The strap match, it was cool because it was a beatdown before of Drew McIntyre down Karrion Kross before he even put the strap on Karrion's wrist. And then they got the strap on his wrist and they started having a match. They should have given more time to this one. This was probably the shortest match of the night. Karrion Kross was able to pick up the after Scarlett sprayed pepper spray Drew's face, and they just hit like a just a puck of the head to pick up the win, to even lock in the Cross jacket. I guess they're saving for a future feud, but at the same time, it just felt like a punch. That's what's going to keep Drew McIntyre down for the 3. I guess it was pepper spray, but what the fuck? I mean, pepper spray doesn't knock people out. So yeah, those 2 matches definitely brought the show down a bit for me. But the rest of the show was awesome. Bianca Belair and Bayley had a banger match. Bianca Belair able to retain after hitting a KOD on a ladder to Bayley. It looked dangerous, but everybody's fine. Great job by Bianca Belair and Bayley. I would almost call this the match of the night. We then get the I Quit match of Finn Balor versus Edge. Finn Balor had Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio get involved. Rhea Ripley actually handcuffs on Edge. But then Beth Phoenix made her return and actually attacked. Rhea Ripley was able to get the hands to Edge. He unlocks himself. And as he's fighting back, about to get the shit out of Finn, Rhea Ripley knocks out Beth Brass Knuckles and goes to hit a concerto on Beth. And right before she's about to hit it, Edge says, I quit. Don't do this. I quit. And then this was what made me think. Rhea turns around, looks at Edge, and goes, I couldn't say if she said she or he. She said, someone told us you would. It's the chair. No one's picked up on that. It makes me think there's someone coming bigger than them. Someone isn't. They're not. Finn is the leader of Judgment Day. It's someone else. Someone else is telling them to do this. So I don't know who it is, but there is someone, I think. But still a great match. Everything was pulled out. They had anything you can in this match. And we had the Fight Pit match. The main event of the evening. Seth Rollins and Riddle. And they tore the house down, man. Great match. KOs. Anything could hit. A floating bro off the top of the cage. You had a buck bomb into the top of the cage. It was awesome. Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle were great. Daniel Cormier was cool as the referee. Matt Riddle beat Seth Rollins via submission. And then as he's celebrating on the ramp, lights. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world. Let's go on to one part of the arena. There's Huskus the pig. Cut the lights. Song keeps going. Lights go on the other side of the arena. There's Mercer. The lights go out again. Lights go back on. Suddenly, is Rambling Rabbit. Lights go out again. He's got the whole world in his hands. Lights go on again. There's Abby the Witch. Lights cut again. Song continues. Lights go on again. Not Bray Wyatt, but there's the Fiend. And then suddenly out, and there's a door on the stage. And on the Jumbotron shows a thing destroyed in the Firefly Funhouse. And on the TV, a guy appears. Looks like the mask from the Black Phone, which apparently the mask was made by the same guy. So that's a really cool little thing. All it's saying is, who killed the world? You did. You did. Then the door opens. Lights cut back one last time. Lantern appears. Someone walks through the door holding the lantern. Mask. They take it off. Bray Wyatt is back in WWE. Let's go! Bray Wyatt is back. I'm so excited. Apparently the people I mentioned, the Huskies, Abby, apparently it's going to be a faction called the Wyatt Six with Wyatt at the lead. So, that said, who is going to be in it? There is no idea who it's going to be, but damn. This was a way to bring him back and then send some awesome job by WWE. They killed it with this. This was amazing. This was long-term storytelling. Best. Oh my God, what a great way for WWE to really go all out. Great job. Bray Wyatt's back at WWE. If I had to grade the show, probably A grade. Because of the Bray Wyatt return. I know I had those two matches down, which is actually a third of the show, but still, the Bray Wyatt just enough to where you're like, holy fuck, this is going to be amazing. Great job by WWE. Great job. We then go to Monday Night Raw. As Raw kicked off with the Generation X backstage, making some D-Generation X jokes. Apparently there were 4 plastic chickens, and Triple H grabbed one, started choking it, and Shawn goes, I know you're married to Steph, so you're choking the chicken a lot, but come on. They taking all those stupid jokes. It was fun to see. And then we get the Bloodline coming out to again, Brooklyn to acknowledge Raw, to acknowledge the Tribal Chief. Then came out and said that he talked about beating Seth Rollins in the fight pit. It should negate his old stipulation, no longer challenge for a Universal title when Roman Reigns is the champion. So, that would have been cool to see, but Roman Reigns just shook his head, said nah. And then we got announced that it will be Sami Zayn versus Matt later on in the night. And as Roman's walking out, he looks at Jimmy and Jay and says, "You guys stay here, take care of me. Make sure he wins, because you are officially his problem now." I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what's going on. Bloodline is still awesome. After this, we get Johnny Gargano versus Money in the Bank Theory. This was a nice match, kind of cool. It was too short, and I think they should have had a longer match. Johnny Gargano ended up picking up the win of Theory. I wish they gave him more time, because I don't know if this feels like the blow-off. It really feels like their feud still has a lot to go, but at the same time, I'm like, I want more from it, you know? We then get Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable. Very good between these two. Chad really showing off his strengths. Rey Mysterio able to pick up the window with the 619. After the match, though, Judgment Day came out. Dominic Mysterio telling Rey to hit him. He then slaps Rey. Rey refused, which led Dominic to attack him from behind. Actually hit the 619 on Rey. And then you get the rest Day coming out saying, and Fowler just kept saying, I made Edge say quit, I made Edge say I quit, and now it turned to AJ Styles. AJ comes out, takes a knee, and says, I always look after my brother. And Finn hugs him. He says, I knew you would come around. And as they're hugging, AJ takes the mic and goes, What makes you think I was talking about you? Gallows and Anderson come out. The man who said that they would never return to WWE come out. They are back. They have signed a new deal. They are out of it and in WWE. They are with AJ Styles. The club, DC is back together again. AJ Styles have backup now. They beat down Judgment Day. They stand, hold the ring. Judgment Day now has something to worry about. After this, we get Candice versus Bayley. Candice LeRae was able to pick up the win after Bianca Belair got involved. Bayley then beats down the Bianca Belair and Bayley, and of course, Damage Control helps her out. Apparently, this ain't done between Bayley and Bianca Belair. I'd like to see her take the title off Bianca Belair and have Damage Control hold all the titles, but that's just me. As we get the Miz's birthday party, as Miz opens first present, and it's a bat signed by Jose Ramirez, playing the Cleveland Guardians. Shout out to my Guardians, pulling off the win over the Rays. Anyway, he then opens another gift, and it's 2 giant medicine balls. So he has his giant ball with his amazing bat. Oh, this was a good joke by Miz and Maurice. Very good joke. But then he goes to open another present, and it's Dexter Lumis. Miz then just puts the present down. Maurice hands him the bat. He goes to beat the present, and Dexter is gone. I thought that was very funny. That was Dexter Lumis then comes out. Miz runs away, and Maurice goes into the cake. You have Miz backstage talking to D-Generation X saying, "Where's Triple H? I want this lunatic arrested." And you have Sean Modoug, who are both part of the company, say, next week will be Miz versus Dexter Lumis. If Dexter Lumis has never seen WWE again, but if Lumis wins, Lumis gets a WWE contract. I'm actually very excited. Miz accepted. This could be fun. This could be a good match. After this, we get Omos versus 2 handicappers, 2 local handicap. In a handicap match, very easy. Omos picks up the win. No question. After this, we get the United States Champion Bobby Lashley getting ready for his match, and as he near getting ready, dun dun dun, Brock Lesnar shows up out of fucking nowhere. He says, "Brooklyn," tips his hat. Mr. Bobby Lashley hits 2 F5s, 3 German suplexes, leaves Bobby Lashley laying. Seth Rollins comes out. He says, "I'm hurt, you're hurt. Let's still have this match. You said you were a fighting champion, so here we go." They have the match. Bobby Lashley goes for a spear right away. Seth Rollins hits the pedigree. Bobby kicks out. A little bit of a fight here from Bobby Lashley, but still not enough. Seth Rollins hits 2 stomps up the win, and we have a new United champion, Seth Rollins. Awesome job. We then get a backstage interview with Bobby Lashley, in which Bobby Lashley challenged Brock Lesnar to come to the Raw next week and meet him in the middle of the ring. After this, we got a Bray Wyatt vignette where it just said to reveal in what you are. Rebel in what you are. I don't know what this means, but it was announced that he will be on SmackDown this week to address his actions at Extreme Rules. Oh, I'm watching SmackDown this week, man. This is going to be good. After this, we get Matt Riddle, Sami Zayn. Very good match. Jey Uso tried to get involved. Sami said, hey, I need you to get involved. Jey backed off. And because of that, Sami Zayn picks up the loss. Matt Riddle wins. I do not want to see what Roman Reigns is going to say to Jey Uso next week. Oh, no, band. Anyway, we then get D-Generation X celebrating their 25 years. X-Pac, Road Dogg, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. They mentioned Billy Gunn. Very fun to see. And then you had Shawn. They did all the things. You had Shawn Michaels say, "Hey, if we're back out here 25 years later, please do us a favor and pull us out of our misery." Very funny to see. They then did the suck it. It was awesome. D-Generation X in the ring. I don't care how old you are, what year it is. It's just awesome to see D-Generation X in the ring. Raw went after that. Great job. Fun. Awesome. I really did love this Raw and Smack. This was a great week in WWE. Let's move on to WWE Crown Jewel 2018. This is a notorious show for having one of the worst matches maybe ever. Here we go. Kicks off on the pre-show with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev for the United States Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura picks up the win in a nice 9-minute match. We then get Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton for a quarterfinal match in the Cup, the WWE World Cup, to determine the best in the world. No, not CM Punk. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. And this is one of the last few matches, I also want to point out, where it was Rey Mysterio actually using his regular mask that did not have the mohawk. So I just want to point that out. Rey Mysterio picks up the win over Randy Orton. And then we get Miz versus Jeff Hardy on the SmackDown side. There was two sides. You had Raw and SmackDown going at it. Miz picks up the win over Jeff Hardy after Jeff Hardy went for a twist of fate. Miz, the skull-crushing finale. Very fun to see. Miz picks up the win. We then get Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Now, matches are short because there would be 2 more matches for each of these guys in later on in the night. Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley tries to hit a spear. Seth Rollins hits a stomp. Bobby Lashley kicks out, hits another stomp. Seth Rollins picks up the win. By the way, Seth Rollins was your IC champ at this time and was feuding with Ambrose, who would not cause Seth Rollins any matches here. I felt that was a little weird and could have been better for that. We can get Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Angle. That's right. Kurt Angle had found a way to get into this World Cup after he dressed up as one of the Los. I forget what. He dressed up in gold. It was something Christian did a long time ago, and then the Hardys did it. I can't remember it, but it's gonna bug me. Anyway, Dolph Ziggler picks up the win thanks to outside interference from Drew McIntyre. This is when they were together. So that's a cool one to see. We then get the Bar with their manager Big Show. Remember that? Yeah, Big Show was for the tag team champions for a while. It was versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Very good match here. Would take out Xavier Woods on the outside. The Bar would pick up the win and retain their titles going into Survivor Series. After this, we get the Miz versus Mysterio. The Miz would pick up the win against Rey Mysterio and would move on to the finals in the World Cup. Again, it was an 11-minute match. They weren't having them go completely all out in the matches. They were letting everyone just go slow, letting less, and just keeping them all primed for the main event. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre would be on the outside, and it would cost Seth Rollins the match. This was actually a feud going back to SummerSlam, in which Dean Ambrose would make his return to WWE. So I just want to point that out. After this, so Dolph Ziggler would pick up the win in a 13th match, probably the longest match of the World Cup. We have Styles versus Samoa Joe in a very cool match. It was originally supposed to be Daniel Bryan, but since this pay-per-view took Saudi Arabia, Daniel Bryan had ethical issues going there, and WWE said, "No problem, we understand your ethical issues. We completely understand it. You do not have to. We will substitute someone in, and we'll figure it out." So they ended up having the match on SmackDown earlier that night, the Friday before, and Samoa Joe would end up coming to attack AJ Styles, reigniting their feud from Slam and from Australia earlier on in the year. AJ Styles would pick up the win after hitting the phenomenal forearm on Samoa Joe. We then get Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the vacant WWE Universal Championship. For those of you who don't remember, at this time, Roman was supposed to be a triple threat match of Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. But Roman Reigns announced he had leukemia and he was fighting it again, and would have to relinquish the title to go in and basically have his cancer treatment. So, very cool to see Roman Reigns really acknowledge, like, hey, I can't do this right now. But he would be back, and he was, by the time WrestleMania came around, Roman Reigns was back. He beat leukemia, and that was one of the hardest moments as a wrestling watch. One of the hardest things I've watched as a wrestling fan. I say that. So instead, it becomes a singles match. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. Before the Raw GM acting general manager Baron Corbin would attack Braun Strowman with the title, and you would have Brock Lesnar hit a couple F5s, and Braun would actually kick out. Go to hit a power slam on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar kicks out. It was a short match, but it was a fun match. I'm giving credit where credit's due. Brock Lesnar finally hits the F5, picks up the win, and would hold the title going into WrestleMania, to where he would lose it to Seth Rollins. We then get the World Cup final match, as it was supposed to be Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. But Miz gets rolled to the outside, pretends to hurt his leg. It was a kayfabe injury, wasn't really real. And he looks at Shane McMahon. He says, "I've never been injured my whole life. I've never been injured. I can't do this. I gotta go back in the ring." Shane McMahon, "No, you don't. I got you." Shane McMahon then takes off his jacket, goes in the ring, beats Dolph Ziggler, is the best in the world. This would actually lead to The Miz and Shane McMahon becoming the best in the world tag team for a couple months, win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships from the Usos, and then lose it to the Usos, and then they would have their feud at WrestleMania 35, where this will actually turn face for only the second time in his career. And then finally, oh my god, this match. This is called one of the worst matches ever. A dream match. This started at Super Showdown in Melbourne, Australia. Undertaker versus Triple H. A feud that has happened many times. 3 WrestleManias. Triple H picks up the win in Australia, and the Brothers of the Destruction attack D-Generation X because Shawn Michaels was at ringside and Kane ringside for The Undertaker. As they're coming back from Australia, apparently on the plane, Triple H up to Shawn and says, "Are you ready?" Shawn Michaels announces he's coming out of retirement for one last match against The Undertaker and Kane. Brothers of Destruction versus D-Generation X. Oh my god. It should have been amazing. Should have been tremendous. But everything wrong with them. Shawn Michaels had some in-ring rust, which happens. I mean, he hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania 6. So, that was over 9 years. And Kane's mask off. Undertaker apparently was concussed, I think. And you had Triple H go for a move on the outside and ends up tearing his pec, which would keep him out of action until WrestleMania 35. It was just anything that Murphy's Law, and it could go wrong, went wrong. Everything. This is called the worst match of all time because of, it could have been great. It could have been, but the guys were just not in the right ring mentality. He was just not ready. He would end up getting his revenge match, go against Goldberg at the next Super Showdown, I think. And then you would have him go against Roman Reigns against Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, and that would be his kind of, all right, I could still go match. And then he would have his last match against Styles at WrestleMania 36. And Triple H match versus Batista at WrestleMania, but it was just this match was just I can't say enough bad things about it. I just don't want to, because some of my favorite guys. So I'm just gonna leave it where it is. Shawn Michaels would go back into retirement, and we would never have to worry about this match ever. Crown Jewel, if I had to give it a grade, C-, D+, because of the last match. That's how bad that match was. Ugh, it was just, ugh. Let's forget about that and drink ourselves into a coma with this week's Drink of the Week, Shark Tank. This is a really, really cool drink. It's a shareable drink. So what you're gonna need is 1 ounce blue vodka, 1 ounce Hypnotic, 1 ounce blue raspberry vodka, 1 ounce blueberry schnapps, 2 ounces sweet and sour simple syrup. You're gonna shake well in the shaker. Pour into a big giant fish tank bowl, kind of. Add some. You gotta place the ice and then add some gummy sharks. Pour the mix over the top, and then you top the glass with the blue raspberry vodka and blueberry schnapps, and enjoy. This is a tough, guys. Want to say that? Please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive if you are driving. Yes, this is a hard drink. It is a fun drink for parties, but is definitely a hard drink. Do not drink if you are under 21. Do not assume, and do not drink and drive. And now we're reading rules. Masks. Masked superstars are not required to move their masks for their official wrestling license photos. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, it is time for your battle droid of the week. This should be a shocker. I talked about it earlier in my Extreme Rules review. The battle droid of the week this week is Ronda Rousey. Just don't get it, man. I don't get why fans, there's some fans who are diehard of, oh, she's amazing. And I'll go back to my story of when I was in a comic book shop with my buddy. I looked at him and I held up a Ronda Rousey. She's going to destroy wrestling. She is going to be terrible. And everybody was like, oh no, give her a shot. I gave her the shot. She basically single-handedly ruined Liv Morgan's title reign. Almost destroyed Liv Morgan. She had a terrible match at WrestleMania 38. Kind of ran Charlotte Flair off of WWE for a little while. Basically, everything she could do wrong went wrong. She is Murphy's Law to a T. So you know what? I hate to do it to you because I know she could kick my life. Don't get me wrong, amazing fighter, but just not a great wrestler. Ronda Rousey, you are the battle droid of the week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
And now, unfortunately, some sad news. Former Tough Enough champion Sarah Lee has passed away. She was loved by everyone in WWE, unfortunately, but she was still beloved. She was only 30 years old. She was married to Wesley Blake. For those of you who don't know, he is in ring with WWE. He is now on the independent scene, but he had a very good career with WWE. He was actually the tag team champions with Buddy Murphy. And she was always, apparently, according to everyone backstage, she was well liked. She was so nice. She just really cared about people. And unfortunately, her death, I can't give into it, but because it is not publicly available, and cause that is for the family to decide if they want people to know what it was. I'm not going to speculate, but Sarah Lee is dead at 30. Hopefully she's in the golden ring in heaven, and for that she gets the ultimate wrestling, the 10-bell salute. May she rest in peace. Thank you very much for listening. I've been the Big Guy. I hope you've enjoyed this week of Wrestling Made Simple. Enjoy this week of wrestling. It has been a fun one. Very much. Have a great day.